Jane, I think we are at quite a moment in time. That was an American president who didn't like what he saw in Venezuela and has gone in and removed the sitting president. He spoke about what comes next. That's the key question in all of this. And he said the Americans are going to be running this country for the foreseeable future. The way he put it, we're going to run the country until we can do a safe, proper and judicious transition. Presumably Donald Trump will decide what judicious means in all of this. Calls himself the president of peace. Clearly, peace in Venezuela will be peace very much on his terms. And he spoke about boots on the ground. He was asked about that. How would Venezuela look in terms of America's involvement? His answer to that was, yeah, boots on the ground, we're not afraid of it. He didn't expand on what exactly that would mean in terms of a US military presence, but clearly oil in Venezuela is uppermost in his thoughts. He spoke at some length about how American companies would go in, much money would be made, he said, to the benefit of Venezuelans. But he did say, phrases like, we're going to do, spoke about we are going to do a lot of business in terms of oil interest for the United States. Something else he spoke about and was asked about was Cuba. I suppose that's the next logical question in all of this. If a sitting head of state is removed from one country, can it happen anywhere else? He was asked about Cuba. His answer was, Cuba is not doing well right now. I think Cuba is going to be something we end up talking about. We want to help the people in Cuba and the people forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Marco Rubio spoke on Cuba. He said it's a disaster run by senile, incompetent men. If I lived in Havana and I worked in the government, I'd be concerned. I mean, you could almost substitute Cuba for Venezuela in that particular context. And I suppose that's the bigger overarching question, isn't it, Jane? Not just what happens in Venezuela. And that is extremely significant. In terms of who runs it, Donald Trump said, well, some of the people behind me are going to be running it. I don't know quite where this vice president, now president, sits in all of this. Donald Trump said that she's spoken to Rubio and it was all going well. We want to make Venezuela great again. That same vice president this morning was talking about a brutal assault. She was demanding proof of life pictures of Nicolas Maduro. So, that's where we are. Hugely significant in terms of what happened last night, and hugely significant, I think, Jane, in terms of what happens next, and hugely more controversial, I think, on the back of what we've just heard from the US president.